There are fears that Jude Bellingham could be banned from England's quarter-final game against Switzerland amid a disciplinary investigation into a rude gesture made during Sunday's match against Slovakia.
Yes, UEFA have confirmed they are investigating the 21-year-old midfielder over a potential breach of the basic rules of decent conduct. There he is. Could England's superstar really miss out on a chance to bring football home? Well, it's our sports broadcaster, Aidan Magee. Aidan, this is quite an extraordinary story, isn't it, really? Jude, superstar player for us in the England team. He's been scoring the goals, the few of them that we've had. And how serious is this? Is it a real possibility that he could actually be booted out for the rest of the tournament?
In short, no. I don't think we're going to see him banned. This apparatus or this investigative kind of legislature it exists within UEFA because they want to show it as a deterrent to players who maybe want to take things a bit further, maybe want to reveal political messages on their T-shirts, maybe want to even display gestures that could be construed as even ruder than the ones Jude Bellingham displayed on Sunday evening. Now, the reality is that, yes, they'll take their time. It has to go through a framework of scrutiny, if you like. But I think, in reality, England will get a message tomorrow, the FA. They'll get a message from UEFA probably in the next 48 hours that Jude Bellingham will be cleared to play. They can't leave it too long because, clearly, if he is to be banned, then England needs to make a contingency plan tactically and get their training right. That wouldn't be fair to make them wait too long. But I honestly don't think they'll have to wait a very long time to find out that, yes, it'll just be a fine, which will be paid by the player. There'll be an apology issued by the player. In fact, I think he's kind of issued a semi-apology already by saying it wasn't as everybody construed it to be. And I think that realistically will be the end of it. But I think there's no doubt whatsoever that we'll see Jude Bellingham playing for England on Saturday.
Well, what was his excuse again? Sorry, just he did tweet something out, didn't he? What was it?
Yeah, so what would happen is that somebody within the FA will have recognised the issue. Now, I think we can see what it all is. I mean, it looks for all the world as if it's a gesture towards the Slovakia bench, who may have been giving him some issues during the game. He claims it was towards a supporter. But it's very much in the moment, isn't it? I mean, like, this guy is 21 years old. I've said many times before, there is no gig in sport like playing for England. They've not won anything since 1966. And so, yes, you're going to feel the pressure. There are two players there in the picture that we can see who did the damage on the day for England. And I don't feel that there's anything too much to be read into this. But he did release a statement immediately after the game, in fact, just apologising and saying there was no offence meant towards the Slovakia team or their bench, and that it was a private joke. So he doesn't really issue an apology for what he did, but he has attempted at least to explain it away. I think you'll see an apology in full when the matter's cleared up in the next 48 hours, as I say.
Yeah, the words in full. He quote tweets a video of this gesture with a yawning emoji and then a big X emoji saying an inside joke gesture towards some close friends who were at the game. Nothing but respect for how that Slovakia team played tonight. A shaking hands emoji to finish off that tweet. It has to say that quite a few people online haven't taken that at face value, and it became a bit of a meme in and of itself, with people using the same words, nothing but respect for how, and then disrespectful things, and sort of using it as a contrast. Do you think that that's genuinely what happened, or is this a sort of post hoc explanation?
Yeah, I think, look, reading between the lines, you know, if we're taking it. You say taking the apology or the semi-apology at face value, I don't think anyone's really doing that. They kind of know what he meant. But also I think, Tom, there's a degree of understanding that this was a hugely pressurised goal. England was seconds from going out. Sometimes you get reactions in the moment. Yes, we can all see what it is, but is it the biggest crime in the world? Is it deserving of a ban in a match?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It all seems a bit much. It all seems a bit much.
But UEFA have to have some kind of disciplinary process in place. What you'll see is a fine. I think that's fair. I really do, because you can't just let players get away with doing whatever they want. But he won't be banned.
Also, he is a massive role model for lots of young men and boys.
Every player is.
It is important to uphold some standards, I guess.
It doesn't do any harm whatsoever to be reminded of that now and again.
Exactly, Aidan. Another story, Cristiano Ronaldo. He's laughed at for crying after missing a penalty.
I think it was actually quite sad last night. We saw a player who is at the very end of his career. He's taking near enough every free kick on that pitch, even the ones that reveal an impossible angle to score from. And it's a player who's too powerful within that squad. He's playing alongside players who've won the Champions League. And yes, he's an extremely important player in Portuguese football. He's an extremely important person within world football. But he's clearly more powerful than his manager. He's clearly more powerful than his teammates. And everything he was trying last night, it's all very well if you're trying all these things and they're coming off, but they're not. He was given a chance to score from 12 yards in normal time, which would have spared the inconvenience of extra time and penalties, and he still missed. And so they've created this monster themselves. Yes, he's justified. Some would say he's earned the right to do that because he's been a superstar player over the last 20 years, but he's becoming a problem now for Portugal. All's well that ends well. They went to penalties, they went to extra time, or extra time then penalties, I should say. He did earn some kind of redemption by scoring the first penalty.
And yet, Aidan, what the BBC said here, well, they branded him Mistiano Ronaldo. We can see it. We can see it in the bottom of our screens here. Yes. This is a screenshot from the BBC. Is that right to do? Is that appropriate, or are they just having a bit of a laugh?
It's a bit of a laugh, for goodness sake. I mean, like, you know, it's not exactly prominent on the screen. I mean, like, I saw that last night. I didn't even notice it on the bottom left-hand side. But yeah, it's quite funny, and I think that most people could see that some of these free kicks, Tom, were taken by Ronaldo when they should have been taken by the players. He's acting personally and not for the team. That would be my view. If I was managing his team back then, that's what I would say. That's what I'd be saying. That's how I'd be critiquing the situation. But nobody in that squad, in that whole structure of Portuguese football, is powerful enough to challenge him. And that's the problem, because there's one thing getting past Slovenia in the second phase. It's going to be a big problem when the bigger sides work you out later in the rounds.
So do you think it's a bit harsh to say, you know, he needs to man up? Or that's a bit on PC these days. You can't really say that, can you, man up? But, you know, get over it and stop crying. Is that a bit mean?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's necessarily mean, but I just think that it's slightly unedifying. I think that a player of his stature should not be doing that when the game is not done. By all means, save your... I know it's emotional. I know we can't always control when that comes to the surface, or comes boiling to the surface, but that does not need to be done before extra time. And I suppose people will come back to me and say, oh, hang about, what about Paul Gascoigne when he cried in Italia 90? Well, to be fair, he got on with the job, and he delivered a performance in extra time, which almost yielded a victory. Cristiano Ronaldo missed a big chance in normal time last night. He was on free kicks and corners, which he shouldn't have been on. And as I say, Paul Gascoigne was a real shining light for England that night. Cristiano Ronaldo was a problem for his team, no question about that.